I don't understand what's happened. It happened so suddenly. My life seems like it's now nothing but a white world. A white, bland world. And I'm all alone. My life was never like this before. In fact, I was one of the optimistic ones. I was very thankful for the air I inhaled, fell asleep with a glistening smile, and was excited to tackle the next day. I remember a few days ago, I was cruising along the winds of another day. Nothing new, yet nothing horrible either, waking up at 8 a.m. to go to a local coffee shop. It was short of customers and was slowly running out of business, which is a shame because their coffee is tops. I arrive at the same seat in the joint that I sit at every morning. The final table in the back against the wall, right next to the window. Just the way I liked it. I would always savor every drop of that wonderful coffee. No need to down it, especially with how delicious it was. Sure, I'll be late for work, and my boss will give me an episode, but hey, all that matters is that I'm happy. I finished my last drop of Joe and I'm off to work. Today was a bit rainy and muggy, with a foggy atmosphere. I wasn't prepared for what Mother Nature had in store today, for all I had on me was my suit and tie. I completely forgot my trench coat and umbrella. I'm sure my boss is also going to bitch at me for entering his building dripping wet, but oh well. No need to get overwhelmed from the thought of it. I'm happy with my life. As I carelessly stroll down the roads of town, admiring the sights of everybody living their lives and viewing the beauty the world has to offer, I finally arrived to my work. I went right to the restroom to use the hand dryer, hoping it will dry my clothes. But it was no use. I was drenched as if I had made a pit stop at a water park. I came across the office and boy, does my boss look pissed. Standing there with his fist clenched to his sides.
Jim! You're late again. I shouldn't be shocked, though. What is this, your third week late? The papers on your desk are piled to the brim. We keep losing workers each day for some reason as well, so we're running short on our progress here. Myself and your coworkers have given up on you. In fact, go to your cubicle. There's something for you to look at.
Without saying a word, I mosey along to my desk, and sure enough, he was right. There was a sticky note on my computer monitor. I didn't even need to rip the note off the screen to read from where I was standing, for it had the two words, "You're fired," sprawled in large. Well, I guess I'll just burn 6 hours, I said to myself, and walked out the double doors. To be honest, I wasn't emotional from this happening at all. After all, I'm a happy man. I decided to head back home to burn time to ash. The thought of trying to find a new job never occurred to me, as well as the thought of what I should do next with my life. Eventually, I decided to call up my friend Doug. He was an unemployed man who sat at home all day, drinking bottles of Bud, eating TV dinners, and watching live car chases on Fox News. He was that one most would call uneducated, but he was just a slob who had nothing better to do. He answers the phone.
Hey, Jim, my man! What are you doing home so early?
I explained how I got fired from my job and asked him if he wanted to go see a movie in town.
Sounds like a blast. Meet you there in a couple,
he replied. That's the thing about Doug. He's a good guy, but not my type of person to share a friendship with. I'm more of the sophisticated one. He's more of the lazy drunk who doesn't do much. But, you know, it's all okay, because I'm thankful for my life and how it turns out each and every day. I'm happy with my life. We meet up at the movie theater and make our way towards the food counter. I was in a popcorn and Pepsi mood. Doug, on the other hand, ordered a small popcorn, 2 hot dogs, candy, and a large order of nachos. I was shocked at how much this man could eat. I thought he slammed down enough food today to keep him full for a week. I wondered how deep the pit in his stomach goes. We walked our way down the hall and began to sit down in the front row of the theater and prepared ourselves for our cinematic adventure. It was that time to turn off reality and open the doors to a better world. Hours after, Doug loved the movie, but I really didn't like it too much. It was depressing. Too depressing. Nobody in that movie was happy enough for me to enjoy it. But to each his own, I suppose. I told Doug that I would talk to him later, and then I thanked him for the grand time. We both got in our cars and began to drive out of the theater's parking lot. As I'm driving downtown, I see the sunset on the horizon and the sky turning a dark purple. That's when it clicked. It was almost 7 p.m. That's when I worked my second shift at my job. I know I was recently fired, but that didn't keep me from stopping by the work building again. I never got paid for my second shift. I worked free of charge. Actually, my boss never knew about my second shift. I just love to help everybody. The shocking joy that I receive puts a big smile on my face, so it's a win-win situation for all. As I drive alongside of the work building, I saw that there were only a few cars in the parking lot this time. So I knew there was only a few people working overtime tonight, which is odd because there were more people working yesterday, and even more the day before that. I suppose my boss has just gotten so angry with his personal problems that he's been firing his employees more often. Oh well, it doesn't matter. I began to walk into the building, passing each cubicle down the room to see my coworkers doing their jobs. Nothing unusual. As I approached them, the building's power went out. I might have an idea why, but I'm still unsure. The power came back on a few seconds later, and when my coworkers saw me standing there in front of them, they were in shock. They all seemed so glad to see me. So glad that there were tears rolling down their eyes. Seeing how happy they were made me happy as well. So happy that I actually began to cry tears of joy myself. And then I gave all of them one of my long, loving hugs like I always did every night before. I didn't stay too long because I knew the boss didn't want me around. So I said goodbye to everyone as I left the building. As the double door shut behind me, I turned around and saw them screaming and crying on the floor with their arms reaching out to me. Jesus! I guess they really didn't want me to leave tonight. But I didn't feel bad, because I knew I would be with them all tomorrow. And that put a big smile on my face. Later that night, I pulled into my driveway and began to walk inside my home. It was time to brush my teeth. I needed to make my teeth sparkle for more of a radiant smile to share with everyone tomorrow. After brushing my teeth, I stared at the bathroom mirror to see my glowing smile, and I noticed a ketchup stain on my cheek. I wiped off the substance. Doug must have really went to town on those hot dogs today. I'll tell him to take it easy next time, I said to myself with a chuckle and walked to the bedroom. I slowly got in my bed and I set my alarm for 8 a.m. once again. I pulled the covers up over my body and fluffed my pillows for a perfect slumber. I lay my head down and stare at my window, saying goodnight to the stars with my shining smile as they sent a shine right back to me. And that's the last thing I remember before everything changed. Nobody's tried to reach me. Why hasn't Doug called me yet? Why didn't anyone from work contact me yet? Didn't they miss me from before? They seemed like they did last time I saw them. And where's all my furniture? I don't even remember my room having these odd cushioned walls before.